There is more to fitness than just looking good, although it doesn't hurt. Hi, this is Mimi Bonnie. I still have a little bit of a cold, so don't mind my voice. But in today's video, I have an awesome guest. You're gonna hear a true life story on just how powerful fitness can really be beyond just a physical transformation. Now, I always say that the number one reason that people fail in reaching their fitness goals is because they don't understand their underlying motivation. So I'm hoping this will spark some thoughts on what fitness might be able to do for you. You'll also hear a horrible, horrible story about what stress can do and a little bit about modeling. Now, this video is longer than usual, so if you want to jump ahead, make sure you check out my description below for start times on topics.
I'm excited to share a very special guest today, Kevin Kreider, who is very well known as a fitness model for some of the top agencies out there, like Ford Models, Wilhelmina. He's also a natural bodybuilder, an IFPA Pro, an actor, and he has his own fitness brand called Pursue. So Kevin, thank you so much for coming in today and agreeing to share your personal story. Now, I know you have not always been in such amazing shape and you didn't always have it together. So, bring us back to when you were bullied as a wimpy kid, as you called it, and, how you really discovered health and fitness.
Yeah, so when I was a little kid, I was adopted when I was 3 years old into a German-Irish family. So obviously it was all white. It was all white cultured for me, and it was very obvious I was different from other people. Like the skin color, that was always told, like, "Hey, Chinese, Chinaman," and all that kind of stuff, and it made me feel really horrible about myself. And then, as I got a little bit older, people would get a little bit more physical with me. So I remember this kid, he would try to have fighting sessions with me in the recess yard. So I was this little experiment guinea pig for about a whole year of just a kid kicking my ass in grade school. And then just random comments all the time, calling me Bruce Lee or Nomo. Eventually I did break down. It didn't make me feel really good. I also had other things going on too. I have Tourette syndrome, so when I was a little kid, kids would always make fun of me for doing all the tics that I had. I still remember when I was playing tennis, kids would make fun of me as well. They didn't think I was very coordinated. They would laugh at me every time I was hitting the ball, and it was just, it wasn't very good. Thanks for bringing up bad memories, baby.
I'm sorry, you agreed to share. This is all for the greater good. Yeah. So then what happened? How did this all turn around?
So when I was a little kid, I read this book called Willy the Wimp, and this little chimpanzee, it's funny, related.
So Willy was a chimpanzee?
Yeah, he was a little chimpanzee, and he was bullied a lot, and I felt the same way. And then he read this comic book, and I was like, oh, he reads comic books too. And it was Mr. Atlas, and he started working out and just doing aerobics and push-ups and stuff, and I would just duplicate whatever was going on in the book, like push-ups and sit-ups and stuff, and I felt pretty good doing that. And then I went into high school. I played football, baseball, and my parents noticed too, actually, my tics started to go away when I started to weight train, get into sports. So what did? They made me play more sports. Played tennis, football, baseball, ski, snowboard. So I did all the athletics, and not only did I get more confident from all of that, but I felt all the stuff started to go away. But even in high school, because I wasn't really fully developed yet and I was skinny, I would still get bullied. I mean, I remember one of my role models, he would push me in the locker.
Who was your role model?
I can't, his name is...
Well, describe who, without saying who it is.
Right. So I grew up with him playing baseball, and he was a guy who had this chiseled feature, he was a white dude, and grown really thick grown hair. He had big forearms, and all the girls loved him, and he was awesome at baseball. I remember him slamming me in the locker rooms in front of a lot of people.
Wait, so your role model actually slammed you?
Yeah.
He bullied you in a way?
Yeah, he bullied me a little bit too. At one point, I thought it was really humiliating because he did it in front of a bunch of girls too. And yeah, I still remember that point where I'm like, wow, this guy that I looked up to really wasn't the guy that I thought, and part of me just says, well, I can't believe you had such low standards for a role model.
Help me understand, at what point in your life when you were growing up that you felt like you had more confidence? Was it in high school or was it really all the way until college?
Yeah, so high school I had absolutely zero confidence still. I was still figuring my way out. And it was actually when I was going to be a freshman in college that I went on a cruise ship with my parents, and there was a bunch of girls. They were all older, and they were like, oh, they were like, they liked me, It was kind of cool. And they're like, you're going to do so great in college. Like, people are really going to like you. And I'm like, really? Like, all these older, cute girls are saying that? And they were like, yeah, like, totally. Why not? And that was the first time it was like, wow, like, I'm not ugly, Like, I'm not something that girls find me attractive. It was like probably the first time in my life at that point is when somebody said that to me. And like pretty girls.
Yeah. Okay, so really it's like external validation.
It was, yeah, a little bit. It was kind of like all this hard work that I was putting into it finally came to fruition at one point. But, obviously that happened right before college. And when I went into college, it kind of just validated even more. It's like, I'm doing something right, So like I just kept going with it. When I went into kinesiology and I started weight training, and then all the guys around me were like, Kevin, you seem really into it and you seem to be getting results.
Right. And then let's fast forward to later when you got a little older and somehow you lost all your hair because of stress. What was that? What was that about?
Yeah, so what happened was I left fitness for a little bit. I took a little bit of a sabbatical to pursue modeling and acting full time, and I lost a lot of muscle because I wanted to fit into the clothes better. My modeling didn't really take off so well. I became somebody that I didn't really like. Like I felt a little bit more insecure about myself. I was overcompensating a lot with cockiness.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, can you explain that a little more? Because I know you said that the whole entertainment industry really transformed you into someone that you didn't like.
Yeah, like you're always told, like, focus only on one thing and burn your bridges. So, you listen to all these famous actors, like, you have to have no other option. So I was like, okay.
Okay, I don't really know what that means.
I took it as get rid of all distractions to get to the goal that you want, which is to be an actor, right? To be a model. So I was like, well, fitness wasn't really doing it for me because I wasn't able to fit into the clothes properly. I was like, well, if I'm going to be an actor, I'm just going to do it full force. So I gave up my business in Philadelphia, moved to New York, and just pursued that and just basically turned my back on the fitness lifestyle and everything that it's given me. It was really just young and just arrogance and cockiness when I was growing up.
Well, let me ask you this. Since fitness did so much for you, why did you turn away from it? Like, was modeling a bigger goal for you?
There's something where I always thought it would be there for me. It was something where I was like, I always thought there was a modeling life shelf to it. I was like, oh, I'm going to be too old. I was turning 26. Actually, it was quite the opposite. So when I came to New York, I found out there was a lot of models who started even later than I did and making amazing careers. So that was totally, I didn't know at that time. And, fitness just came so easy to me at the time. And I was definitely doing stuff I shouldn't have been doing. Like I was drinking a lot more and I wasn't being a good role model. I wasn't being a good role model to other people, so it didn't feel good and fulfilling to me. So that was something that I figured out later. And then when I started to want to be more of a role model instead of just helping people lose 50 pounds and that was it, like I realized like I needed to walk the walk. So that gave me a little bit more focus when I came back to it the second time around. But going back to the alopecia areata, like it just totally hit me hard my last year in New York, and I was in Harlem. There was tons of things going on. I lived with 5 other roommates. It was like we couldn't get settled. There was bed bugs. It was like I was moving every other month, it seemed like. And finally I just lost it, and I started losing all of this chunks of hair, and it just started getting really awful because like I was actually hitting my peak in like my modeling, my acting. I was booking stuff, I was working.
Was it like over time you lost more and more hair, or like all of a sudden overnight? Like when did you know that it was like an issue because of your stress?
Yeah, it was like the first week, because I noticed like there was literally poof, and I could do this, and there was like chunk of hair, like it was a handful of hair. And actually I was on my way to a men's fitness shoot when this happened, and it was right here. So what did I do? I just parted it the other way, and I told the hairstylist.
You had like a bald spot while you were going to a shoot?
Yeah, I had a bald spot when I was doing a shoot.
What went through your mind when that happened?
I was like, I hope there's not more. And then I went to the hairstylist. He started playing with my hair, and he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, I think I'm losing my hair." And then he looked.
I just got chills. That's crazy.
Yeah. Then he looked it up and said it's alopecia areata. You need to go see a hair doctor or a dermatologist. And I had another shoot the next day, and I noticed even more hair came out, and I was like, "This is definitely not right at all." And it was just horrible. Mimi, like I literally thought I could just do the comb over and it'd be fine, but then I started losing it here, and it was all less than 2 weeks. I felt like it was at the worst time in my life, but it happened at the best time in my life, because I know the person I was starting to become was not the person I don't think I would have been happy with at the end. I was constantly depressed. Like I wasn't moving around, I wasn't working out, I was losing myself in the whole modeling and acting world, just staying in that bubble. It was crazy.
Did that really impact your modeling career then?
Oh yeah. I mean, like it was so bad that I actually had to shave the rest of whatever I had off. I wasn't working for about 2 months as a model, at least, because I couldn't go in. All my photos were from when I had hair, so my modeling career went on a halt for a while.
So then, is this when you thought about skateboarding from LA to New York?
Yes. So
He did the craziest thing.
I had some free time because I wasn't working, so I thought like, hey, why don't I try to learn something that I've always been wanting to do, and it was skateboarding. I've always, since I was a little kid, wanted to learn how to skateboard. I thought it was cool. I knew this guy over in California, and he wanted to do he wanted to do a short film on me, and I told him I lost my hair, but he's like, that's fine, we can put that in the script somehow. So I was grateful for that he still wanted to work with me. So I had this crazy idea that I was like, you know what, since I have time and I really want to do some soul searching, I'm going to do this trip and skateboard across America. Like at first it was like, let me just skateboard around the city. Yeah. Then I was like, let me do something more challenging, something that I can focus a little bit of my time and just get a little bit of mental clarity.
A little bit of time? First, who came up with the idea of skateboarding from LA to New York? I mean, that's like the entire country. And how long did it take you?
It was just me. I decided to do it, and then my manager's like, let's make a documentary out of it. And yeah, it took me exactly 3 months to do it. I thought it would take longer.
What did you talk about during the documentary?
Well, we're still doing the documentary. Yeah, it's not finished yet. And so we're going to do some commentary on that. But during the documentary, it was just about finding my way back. And it was crazy because I lost a lot of like what I wanted to do during that trip because it turned into a documentary. Yeah. You know, I had a chase car driver I had to worry about. I had the funding, so the filming. So there was a lot of experiences that I kind of lost in it.
So was it what you hoped for, like a deep reflection type of journey?
Yeah, so I think definitely I got more from it afterwards, actually. After the trip than I did during. And I even mean a couple.
That's kind of interesting that you didn't actually get the reflection that you wanted during your skateboarding.
No, it's like, you know, I think it was almost like what I was doing, I was escaping the problem, escaping myself. Like I did it because I thought it would make me feel a little bit more confident in my abilities to create a piece of work. And then I realized even if this piece of work comes out, it's not going to fulfill me, you know, because it wasn't something that like I did to raise for awareness of like breast cancer awareness or for Korean adopted people. There wasn't really a thing. It was just because I was just so under stress, and I wanted to get away and do a trip that would help me self-reflect and be more of a spiritual experience. So when I finished it, it wasn't really the spiritual experience I expected. It was more like, oh my God, I'm so sore. I'm so achy. I look awful. Like, what did I just...
You're like, all of that, 3 months.
Yeah. I was like, what did I just do that for? Like, I have arthritic ankles now. Like, it's like, why did I do that? So, yeah.
Yeah, so then what changed when you came back?
What changed was I got back into fitness. It was something that I was going to go back to LA right away. And my dad was like, how? Like, with what? With what money? With funds? And I'm like, you'll see. He's like, I think maybe you should find your way again. Maybe this is where the real journey starts, which is kind of crazy. He didn't say that, but that's what I realized happened. And so I got back into fitness again, and I realized, holy cow, I really missed this a lot. And it's because I thought I couldn't have it all. I didn't think I could have a fitness career. I didn't think I could have a modeling and an acting career all together in one. Yeah. And I still remember watching, I don't know if you know who Greg Plitt is, but he was a role model of mine. I remember watching one of his videos, and he was like, be who you want to be. He's like, you're not going to be able to appease everybody and please everybody. He's like, I'm too big for Nike. Yeah. But he's great for Under Armour. Yeah. He's like, for this cologne campaign, I sucked at. But for this cologne campaign, I was perfect for the campaign. He's like, if you're good at what you do and you're just true to yourself, you'll basically attract what's meant for you. And I was trying to appeal to everybody.
I love that. So it's just like be your best version and attract whatever opportunities fit you versus you trying to like conform to fit everyone else.
I was definitely trying to conform my body, my shape to fit everybody else and what my agents wanted, what other models thought was good for me, what I heard when I went to Asia to be skinnier. I didn't want to be the skinny model, and that took me a long time. So my second time around, I listened to it. I was like, oh man, it triggered my fitness drive again, because I realized if I just focus on that, my love, right, my true passion, which is helping other people too to get to their body and their dreams that they want and their confidence level and feeling their best too. From what I've learned and from the mistakes I've made too, that it actually made me feel a lot more fulfilled than not doing that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I started booking more jobs as an actor, as a model, and it was just great. And it hasn't really stopped since. Yeah.
So fitness really did like give you your life back.
Absolutely. Fitness gave me my life back.
And so now you kind of have it all. You're like fitness, you do the modeling, and you even have your own company. Tell us a little bit more about Pursue.
So Pursue came with, I was just thinking of this idea of like, what's this intangible thing that, because we're always going for something. We're always going for more. Once we hit a goal, we're always hitting more, because the moment we stop moving is the moment we stop dying, right? So we're always pursuing something. So I came up with Pursue because I really like the idea that we're always pursuing something, and whether it's more happiness, being more confident, better business, or helping other people, or more fulfillment, always pursuing that.
That's great. So for a final message, do you have something that you would love to share with the viewers here in terms of like out of all your life experiences, what is that one message you want to tell people? Yeah,
don't try to be something for other people, because you're only going to end up hurting yourself at the end. I mean, that's what ended up happening with me. I was trying to be something for everybody to like me. And not everybody's going to like you. You just got to be okay with that.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming in and sharing us your personal stories. And for everyone who wants to follow Kevin, where can they find you?
They can find me www.pursuefit.com, and my Instagram is Pursue by Kevin.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for coming in today and being... Oh my God, do it again. Oh my God, what am I saying?
Thanks.
Bye.
And I hope everyone enjoyed that. Now, looking back, one big takeaway from this is that fitness can really impact a lot. I mean, just look at his story. It helped give him confidence as a kid, it helped overcome his Tourette syndrome, and it really gave him his life back after everything just fell apart. I mean, he got back into the right mindset, he got back his hair, his modeling career, and it even gave him a sense of purpose, which he's manifesting now through his brand called Pursue. And I love that it's about always pursuing something. Ironically, my tagline is Believe in Better, so I'm a huge advocate of what his brand stands for. The other interesting theme in Kevin's life was role models, from a cute chimpanzee to a not-so-great high school bully to the great Greg Plitt, and now leading him to being fulfilled as a good role model himself. Lastly, Kevin reminded me that most of us tend to run from our problems, and we can't. Whether it's skateboarding from California to New York or moving to different places. The thing is, we always follow ourselves. So we have to start by looking inside ourselves. And there's just so much to self-awareness that is so key. And I've learned that health and fitness is a very powerful stimulus to really get you on that right track to a better life. So make sure you ask yourself, if you were to achieve your fitness goals, what would be different? How would it impact the other areas of your life? Your mindset, your career, like Kevin's story? What about relationships? Seriously take the time and ask yourself these questions. And please feel free to share your answers below, give others ideas, share your comments and thoughts as you watch Kevin share his story. And please give us a thumbs up, show us some love, and make sure you check out and follow Kevin. His links are in my description below. Please subscribe, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.